Braziel all the joy and all the love his heart can hold, and may he enjoy his retirement and have a great time.
Larry, may the good Lord's grace and mercy be with you for always, and follow you everywhere you go. Take God with you, you'll do fine. Thank you.
All right, after Larry, I just want to say thank you for all of your sacrifices, tithes, dedications. As one chapter ends, another one begins, and I want to wish you good luck on your new journey.
Brother Larry, here's your sister, your oldest sister, Sister Eddie, and I'm here to congratulate you on your retirement period. I pray to God that He will continue to bless your life and give you the desires of your heart. And not only can I just talk about you, I have to talk about your wife. When I talk about you, I talk about Miss Linda. So you guys are an attribute to this family, and I want you to know that I love you and I appreciate you. I say this in Jesus' name. Larry, congratulations, I'm glad for you, and I want you to enjoy this retirement. And I love you.
Eyeshadow because the class said work blue. I don't have no blue, but what I do have a whole bunch of my love for you and happy retirement.
The storms keep on raging in my life, and sometimes hard to tell the night from day. Still the hope that lies within is reassured as I keep my eyes upon the deep shore. I know it's the hand that bless the place He has prepared.
Braziel and his wife to come down for me.
Amen.
While they're coming, yes, my name is Delicia Bell. I'm the district liaison for Representative Nicole Collier. She sent her regrets for not being here today, but she sent me. And being a Wildcat, I would not rather be in any other place. In recognition of Reverend Larry Braziel for his service and dedication and positive contributions to the youth of Fort Worth, presented by State Representative Nicole Collier, District 95, March 24, 2018. Thank you.
Our next dignitary is herself a member of the class of 1973 at Dunbar High School. Fort Worth City Council member, the Honorable Gina Bivens.
come on back down here. How's everybody doing? When Gobble said some dignitaries, I told the principal at Dunbar some dignities. I don't know about the dignitary part. Y'all look good. I better straighten my stuff up here. I got word that we were supposed to wear blue and white, our school colors. I don't have a lot of blue and white, but I do have some clown blue eyeshadow. On a serious side, when it comes to the Reverend and Mrs. Braziel, you just can't think of one without the other. And I knew if I ever had a request of Larry, and he kind of hedged on me, I could call the girl. We work it out for the sake of Stop 6. One thing we know is that Larry and Linda love Stop 6. And Larry, I just don't know what we're going to do. I mean, I thought about that. You can't think of the Boys and Girls Club without you. How are we going to do it? Let me tell you something. You got it hooked up pretty tight. And thanks to supporters like Larry, we're making Stop 6 a place where all of you who moved away can come back home if you want to. And so there's building going on all of Stop 6. There's a house, I think it's a cycle connection there on Langston, 5,400 square feet. And that ain't no gentrification. It's people who coming back to Stop 6, building on Big Mama's property, a property that they couldn't build on before because of a faulty historical restriction. Thanks to support from my classmates and my big brother Gobble up here, who educated me on foreclosed properties, we're making it better. But we just got to make sure Larry's departure is not in vain. We have to keep being a shepherd to Stop 6, because that's what he was. So I got some formal words to read here. So we're going to take a picture. We take pictures, girl. That's just what we do. And then I'm going to have to go over here to there's something with the Masonic Museum. Okay? I just know where I'm going. I don't know what it is. But this reads, and I have to sound real official. Whereas the Reverend Larry Braziel is retiring after many years of work in the Stop 6 community as the director of the East Side Boys and Girls Club on Ramey Avenue. And whereas, following his 7-year NFL career, that's like National Football League, y'all, with the Baltimore Colts and the Cleveland Browns, Larry decided, and he really did decide, to return to school to become an ordained minister. There are just some things when you're called to do, you have to do. And when you talk to Larry and his passion for kids, it comes out. Whereas upon returning to Fort Worth, Larry's focus turned to the youth of the Stop 6 area via his ministry, guidance, and personal attention. Many of our young people made good life choices. And you may take that for granted. But when you got a decision to make, and your mama can't pay the light bill, dad is in jail, ain't nobody working, you got to make some decisions. Larry Braziel influenced hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those. I've heard about them. And so don't take that lightly just because you're sitting up in here looking like all of that. He has made an impact for the good of our community. Whereas, I'm sorry. Whereas Proverbs speaks of the deep sense of pleasure in a job well done, Larry's positive impact on so many people deserves our most sincere appreciation. I speak on behalf of everyone who is present. Good work, good service, and we hope your retirement is happy and blessed, my friend. Now, therefore, I, Gina Michelle Bivens, Fort Worth City Councilwoman for District 5, do hereby present this certificate of recognition to the Reverend and Mrs. Larry Braziel. And yes, you may applaud.
All right. Reverend Justice has it. I knew Roy would have just told me to get it. Amen. Did enough talking for everybody. And then our Honorable Glenn Lewis. You know, folks is always trying to claim people. But to our master ceremony this evening, Commissioner Brooks did send a plaque in recognition of what Larry has did and represent in our city. So if you all come down again, I know you may be a little tired of standing, but you can sleep when you get home tonight. It reads, Resolution, Tarrant County, Texas, congratulatory resolution, Larry Braziel, East Side Boys and Girls Club of Greater Fort Worth. Whereas Larry Braziel is a youth minister and has served as the director of the East Side Boys and Girls Greater Fort Worth since 1993. And whereas Larry Braziel graduated from historic Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School in 1973. Somebody should have just attended Concord Community College from 1974 to 1975, where he was a two-time all-conference football player and was voted most improved player and outstanding player of the year. And whereas Larry Braziel received a full scholarship to the University of Southern California, and in 3 seasons, his team won 2 Rose Bowls and a national championship. And whereas in 1979, Larry Braziel was drafted by the former Baltimore Colts and was voted into the NFL All-Rookie Team. After a 7-year football career with the Baltimore Colts and Cleveland Browns, God impressed upon his heart to retire from the NFL and to answer the call of the ministry. In 1986, he was licensed and ordained and served as an associate and youth pastor in Baltimore, Maryland. And whereas Larry Braziel has greatly impacted the lives of the youth of Stop 6, Texas, community as a director in the East. He didn't say that, I just as the director of the East Side Boys and Girls Club, he has received numerous accolades, including the Employee of the Year, staff behind the Youth Award, Pride Award, Jackie Robinson Community Achievement Award, served on the Bunch Park Project Community. If you had did that when I was in school, I would have stopped in the park so much. Now therefore, be it resolved that I, Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner of Tarrant County, Precinct 1, do hereby congratulate Larry Braziel for his 25 years of dedicated service to the East Side Boys and Girls Club of Greater Fort Worth and his countless contributions to the citizens of Tarrant County. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the Tarrant County to be affixed to this 24th day of March 2018. Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner, Precinct Number 1.
My name is Paul Franklin, and it is my honor to represent the Dunbar High School class of 1973 at this milestone event. Some of you may know that Larry Braziel was not only a member of this graduating class, but also achieved the esteemed recognition of being voted most nonchalant. I think it's safe to say that he would probably receive the same accolades today. Looking back at those years, I realized that I really didn't know Larry that well. Sure, we took a few classes together, but we hung out in different circles. But now that I think about it, his main boys, Ricky, Squirt, Eugene, they set the bar so high I couldn't have joined that clique anyway. So I lost touch with Larry after graduation in 1973. until we reconnected at a reunion planning meeting some 20 years later at the Eastside Boys and Girls Club over on Rainey, which I knew by then that Larry managed. You can't imagine the look on my face when I walked into his office and quickly realized that during this time, not only had Larry attended USC, along with his lovely wife and fellow classmate Linda, but that he had also played on USC's championship football team with Ronnie Lott and Marcus Allen in the Rose Bowl. Then I continued to look around, and I'm dumbfounded again to find out that he also had a stellar career as a pro football player with the Baltimore Colts and the Cleveland Browns. Wow, I was almost speechless. Now, don't get me wrong, I knew Larry was one of the best athletes on our teams, but man, what an accomplishment. I was so proud of Larry, but at the same time, I was so embarrassed for not knowing any of this. But Larry didn't leave me on the hook too long, not for too long. He then played it off in his typical, funny, nonchalant way. Larry, through his connection with the Eastside Boys and Girls Club, has provided unselfish support to this community and to our class reunion activities throughout these many years. As a reunion class, several of our classmates even supported and participated in youth mentorship programs at the club. If the kids took away half as much as we received from them, then all of those programs had to be a good success. As a reunion class, we'll never forget the memorable events and get-togethers over the years at the club. Larry simply asked our reunion planning team to let him know what and when, and he would do whatever it took to get it done. I personally thank you for that, Larry. Larry's success in sports, community service, and life exemplifies his character, dedication, and most important, his faith. I'd like for the members of Dunbar class of 73 to please stand. On behalf of the Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School class of 1973, this 2018 Community Service Award is presented to Larry Braziel, and it reads, "In grateful appreciation for your outstanding dedicated service to the Stop 6 community and for your selfless support of our class reunion activities through the years, Larry Braziel."
This is your season for grace, for favor. This is your season to reap what you have sown. This is your season for grace, for favor. This is your season to reap what you have sown.
Miss Larry, I'm so proud to be here. I did not know you knew this many people. I didn't expect this many people, but Miss Linda, I am so proud to have known your husband. And Miss Larry, I was good until my husband played that song. Yeah. Because I wanted to share something with you that I never told you. First time I met Mr. Larry, I was going through something. And he was so gentle with me. And he said those words that my husband just said, and I like to walk and ran, because there was no way I feel that God would have known that I needed to hear that before I got up. So, Mr. Larry, when I met you, and we always had discussion, and you always said to me, he's such a gentle person, he will call you by your name first. And he would say to me, Sheila, this is your favor. God is real. God is good. God is, and God was, and God, Mr. Larry, I love you. I thank God that I had an opportunity to live long enough to see this day for you, because I know how much we went through at the Boys and Girls Club, trying to encourage the young people. And I can say to you that this plaque, along with all the plaques that you were given, I want you to know that we're here because we love you, and you have changed our lives. So, Mr. Larry Braziel, a special token for your support of church, family, and community, presented by George and Sheila, aka Princess Hicks. Thank you for your love, your dedication, and your support of so many.
Amen.
I don't know, but I want to tell a little bit about the story of Coach Ray Denner. I also went to Compton College, Compton Community College. I imitated Larry. When I graduated in '79, I didn't have no scholarship. None from Dunbar. They said, well, hey, Larry Braziel went to Compton Community College. I grew up watching Larry, Joey, all them guys. My brother was Willie Lawson. My little brother is Todd Lawson, the head coach of Dunbar right now. And I've been watching them guys all my life, just watching them. They play football, John Rowan, you guys may not know this. Okay? But I was a young kid watching them. So I went to Compton Community College. I wore Larry number. Okay? I imitated everything Larry did. When I got through for 2 years, I had 6 scholarships offers. Division I. Okay? And I think he thought I was there because I wore his number. I went to University of Utah. I signed with the best team in the NFL, that's 49. Okay? San Francisco. Got in there. I got hit. No, this ain't for me. This is a letter from his defensive back coach, and this letter reads, Retirement of Mr. Larry Braziel. First of all, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Larry on his retirement. This is the result of his dedication, devotion, and hard work. It is my prayer that God will continue to bless him and his lovely wife, Miss Linda. It was indeed a blessing for me to have had that honor, privilege, and opportunity to mentor and coach him for 2 years at Compton Community College. It was very clear the first time that I met Larry that he had set very high goals for himself. Larry demonstrated character, excellent knowledge of the game, in both skill development and strategy. Larry educated himself to being the best student athlete that he could be. If you kids now growing up, the best thing he said was student athlete. Always remember that, because we're only going to play for a little while. Okay? He also wanted to learn the fundamentals and techniques of mastering the art of playing defensive back, and that's a very hard position. Larry was a tenacious player. He just demonstrated this type of attitude and overall skills daily on the practice field and games. After 2 years of success in the classroom and on the field at Compton Community College, Larry received a full scholarship to attend the University of Southern California to play the position of defensive back. After Larry graduated from USC, he was drafted by the Baltimore Colts and eventually went on to play for the Cleveland Browns. Larry has truly proven to be exceptional in each and every endeavor and presently serving as a youth pastor. In closing, without a doubt, I want to thank God for bringing us together. Occasionally in life, you get to meet that very special person that you are privileged to call a friend and a son. God has smiled and continues to smile on both Larry and myself with the love of Christ. Raymond Denver. Coach D! Yeah, baby.
Thank you, Lonnie. That was Lonnie Lawson, and it must have been that click he took with the 49ers. Maybe he forget that we were the ones who won the championship. Next on the program, we have special remarks from representatives of the Boys and Girls Club, Mr. Matthew Sinclair and Mr. Kevin Foster.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Sinclair, and for the last 11 years, I've been fortunate enough to work alongside the man we are all here to recognize this evening. When I began my career at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Fort Worth, I had no idea that the organization, and more importantly, the people within it, would have such a profound impact on my life. Throughout my time with the organization, I've been truly blessed to have spent time learning and growing under the guidance of some truly inspirational mentors and friends, many of whom are in this room tonight. It is within this light that I will seek to put into words the feelings of gratitude and appreciation that I have for Mr. Larry Braziel. He has been someone who I've constantly tried to model not just my professional life after, but also all other aspects of my life, from my family to my family. When Mrs. Braziel asked me to speak a few words this evening, I was both humbled and honored. It is not every day that one gets an opportunity to acknowledge someone who they truly consider a hero. As I began to think about what I might say, I thought about all the times Mr. Larry passed along a word of encouragement or a piece of advice to me that helped turn a bad situation good. I reminisced about all the times walking into Eastside and seeing Mr. Larry with his arm around the shoulder of a young person, pouring into them the love and devotion he had for each and every kid that walked through the doors of that club from the day that it opened until just yesterday. I thought about all the staff that called Eastside home over the years, and how when you walk in the doors, you immediately know that while you may not be related, you are still family. It was while sifting through all these memories that I came to realize that the true legacy of Mr. Larry and his time with our organization was not the nearly 25 years he spent as branch director at Eastside. Plenty of people work at jobs for many years and never leave a mark. The thing that makes Mr. Larry's 25 years truly special is the impact he has had on countless staff, thousands of young people, and the entire Stop 6 community. If you sit down and really think about the number of lives this man has molded, shaped, saved, and set on the right path, it can leave you somewhat awestruck. When those of us who work with young people look for validation that the work we do matters, simply walking into Eastside and seeing the number of club members from age 6 to 36 who are better off by being lucky enough to have Mr. Larry as their director can give whatever proof is needed. It is rare to go to the club and not see former club members dropping by to share their successes and triumphs with Mr. Larry, because they recognize it was his investment in them that helped them accomplish those achievements in the first place. As I think about next Tuesday and what will be our last branch director meeting with Mr. Larry at the table, my mind searches for a clue as to how we can possibly feel his presence, not just at the meeting, but throughout our organization. I wonder who the other directors will look to for guidance and calm support in tough times. I try to imagine who will fill Mr. Larry's shoes in terms of leadership, dedication, and devotion to bettering the lives of young people. While these thoughts, especially as the time for Mr. Larry's departure have drawn near, have often made me sad, they have also given me a great feeling of hope. The reason for this is that while Mr. Larry spent the last 25 years instilling so many wonderful things in the hearts and minds of young people, he was also doing the same for all of us. He was showing us how to do this work the right way, how to give so selflessly to others to help make them better. Each and every day that Mr. Larry came to work, he was giving us the secret to making a difference in our kids and in our communities. This realization allowed me to see that while Mr. Larry might not be at that table after this Tuesday, or at the club on Rainy Avenue, he would always be there in each of us as we continue trying to change the lives of our kids. Mr. Larry, you've always told me that the work we do is a calling. And when you look at things we do with and for young people, this perspective can make even the toughest challenge feel like a blessing. As you and Mrs. Braziel start the next chapter of your lives, I want to thank you for being a friend, mentor, and inspiration. But most of all, I want to thank you for answering the call on behalf of the countless staff, community partners, and most of all kids, for whom life was made better simply by having you in it. Thank you.
A little short. Thank you, man. But Linda called last week, and I'm Kevin Foster. I've had the pleasure of working with Larry Bobo Braziel. I've been waiting to say that because I've been waiting for somebody else to say it. For 25 years, I've had the pleasure of working with Larry from the day he started to the day he leaves. And I say the same. And I think back when Linda called last week and I said, do I get to roast him? Because it's been 25 years. And I've never said nothing about Larry. So today is my day. But Linda said, no. You can tell all the good stories. And that's all I got to tell you. But the beautiful thing about 25 years of working with one person, as a colleague and as a supervisor and as a colleague again, it's been a long ride. And the first thing that comes to mind, I was thinking about all week was, I want to tell you a short story because we don't have very much time. Matt shared a lot of things with us tonight. 25 years ago, maybe it's 24 maybe, Larry, I'm going to condense this story, but I think it may be 3 people in this room, maybe, well, counting Linda, maybe 4 that know this story. I was working at the Calvary branch at the time. I was managing the Calvary branch, and Larry was at Rainy, managing that branch, and it was close to Christmas time. And Larry had just started, not too long, and Larry came in, and one thing that I was told by administration is, hey, this guy had a reference named Art Modell. And I'll never forget that. Some of you may know who Art Modell is. He's the owner of the Cleveland Browns. And I was like, what? The owners is referencing. So first of all, a little bit odd. I didn't know. But anyway, so Larry started the East Side. It's the old East Side, which is on Bond Avenue before it moved to Rainy. And at that time, East Side they had a Christmas party. And the Christmas party was coming, they had community people involved, and they were bringing all these gifts and toys. But things wasn't right. Things wasn't right. Larry felt like things wasn't right. And again, remember, I'm managing Calvary, so I'm in J. Calvary Housing Projects. And my good colleague over there called me a couple of days before Christmas or anywhere in that area. And he said, Kevin, do you want some toys? And I said, Larry, yes. I know I'm a little short, you know, we can always use them. And he said, well, I got lots of toys for your kids. But can you come pick them up? I said, Larry, I'm on my way. I took that bus, the van, and went over there, and he helped me load it up, and I went back to Calvin. My kids was like, Merry, Merry Christmas, Mr. K. I said, yeah, I'm taking care of you this year. Then they asked me questions, because Larry called and said, hey, you want them? I want them. You know, so I get the gifts. And if I remember correctly, the director of operations, who was our supervisor at the time, was Sam Thomas, I want to say. And Christmas passed, whatever, I gave out the gifts, and Sam came over to the club, which came to Calvin, he was talking to me, he's like, hey, we really having some problems with Larry. And I was like, Larry? What's going on with Larry? He's like, well, the community's in an uproar, and kids are mad, parents are mad, he gave away all the Christmas toys. Oh, I played a little role in this. Let me readjust this. What do you mean? I mean, how mad are you? Well, we were really up, you know, we got to calm down the community, the kids and the parents, everybody just so upset. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. I would think you need to just take it easy on Larry. Just have a conversation with him. He's new. You know, he's learning. I still didn't share my part. So then, you know, days go by, and just to tell you, the thing about Larry and everything just Matt just said though, the culture wasn't right at the building. The community wasn't right at the building. The kids' behavior wasn't right. Integrity was not there. Staff wasn't in place. Communication wasn't right. It wasn't being led the proper way. You know as good as when you're ingredients. Things started to change. 25 years later, the culture has changed. The kids have changed. The community has changed.
Yes.
Everybody around the club has changed. Just go by and see that building. The building has changed. He tells me so many times, Kevin, this used to be a pasture when I grew up. It's not a pasture anymore. It's a place where you always envisioned. Because he'll say, Kevin, this used to be a pasture. I wish I would have had this. But you know what? It wasn't his time. Because without him, it would be what it is today. So I say to you, my brother, I didn't go to Dunbar High School. I went to Trumbull Tech. I got put out. But I respect where I am, and I respect what I'm listening to. So, but we always do that. So Larry, the reason why I say that is because Eastside is what it is now. And Eastside is not what it was. And when you see the signs that Matt mentioned in his speech, we may not all be relatives, but we still family. He put it out there. Because that's the nature of a man. And the personal thing about Larry is not professionally, we work together, we've done so many things, but personally, it's a beautiful thing to watch a man lead. And he's leading, and he's fair, and he's kind, and he has integrity, and he communicates, and he's dependable. But I will tell you, in the Boys and Girls Club life, when you're in management, you couldn't do it without a sidekick. In London, I know about the calls at night, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, some troll, something happened to the building, what's going on. My wife went through it too. And I appreciate you sharing that time with us. And Larry, I remember the fire, I remember everything. There's a lot of things go down, but I tell you, nobody is so consistent and so fair and so dependable like Larry Braziel. I hope I've learned as much as I can from him. Because believe it or not, I may have never shared this with you, but you have been my role model for quite some time. And I think everybody in this building has said it. The beautiful thing is you walk the walk. And you don't talk the talk. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Next on the program, we're going to hear from one of those kids, those club kids, that was influenced by Mr. Larry, Jasmine Martin.
How y'all doing today? All right, so I'm gonna start off by saying, yes, I'm Jasmine. I did graduate from Dunbar, class of 2013. And I am the granddaughter of Lightning Henry Barris, for those of you who are classmates with her as well. But I want to start off by saying, when you look at Miss Larry and, of course, Miss Linda, you, of course, off top, they're not Miss Larry and Miss Linda to me. They are Uncle Larry and Aunt Linda. And you couldn't tell me that as a kid because I thought that I was their child. Mind you, we stayed around the corner from them, so it was easy, accessible to just get to them. But starters, you know, they helped me grow spiritually. And for that, I am grateful because I was a member of the Boys and Girls Club for 11 years. And throughout that time, I didn't grow just mentally and physically, but spiritually. And as a college grad, I took their advice, and I was a member of the Power Team ministry that they started. From start, well, I can't say from start, but I felt like it was from start to end, but definitely just grew. And I want to say, you know, as one chapter ends, a new one begins. So when you guys think about going on your trips, don't forget.
I'm thankful because every time we give thanks to God, we affirm a truth that God is sovereign.
Yes, he is.
He knows where we're going, and he knows how to get us there. Tony Dungy wrote a book called Uncommon. And I just want to use for a theme as I talk about Larry, that title, Mr. Larry, Uncommon. There is a blessing in being committed to the right things in life. To God, to your spouse, your family, your job, your church. There's a blessing in being committed to those things. And I want to start by saying that I thank God that my mother and my father, and I want to recognize them because of they were, we are. Newton Braziel, Frankie Lee Braziel. And I thank God that she drug us to church. Amen. And I just want to take a minute because I'm going to talk about the family. Because the family got an inside view. You know, we got a little different view than you have. We know a little bit more than you know. But I want to recognize his siblings first. His three sisters. My brother's not here, he couldn't be here, but I want his three sisters to sing this thing. Because all of us had something to do with him being where he is. You know that, don't you? My baby sister was his first quarterback. And I remember when we were growing up, and like Larry's gonna tell you, he's an uncommon guy. I'm gonna use the word uncommon because uncommon simply means that he's not the general type of person. He's not the usual, not the ordinary. He's a different type of person. Amen. And it's a good thing because he was really driven. But when we were young over on the south side, we used to play football in the street, and I was in the 6th grade, Larry was in the 3rd. And I knew something, it was something when he was in the 3rd grade. First of all, he could play with us. And then second of all, he could whoop most of us. At least 3 of my friends were in the 6th grade and he beat them up. He was in the 3rd. That was a sign that he was an uncommon guy. There's something different about this kid. But he made a statement when we were young and said, I'm going to play pro football. To God be the glory. I'm going to play pro football. And I just want to speak for a minute about the passion, the commitment, and the excellence in his life that got him where he wanted to go. Now, if it was easy, everybody would have been there. You know it's unusual, it's uncommon for people to go to the NFL. Don't you know it's a very low percentage of people who play high school football. Very, very low. It's a little bit higher, but still low for those who play college. So it's not a common thing to play in the NFL. But you got to have some things in order to get there. And it was uncommon for Larry because y'all heard about the wonderful things he did when he got to Compton, but he almost didn't get to Compton. If it were not for his passion and his commitment to excellence. Because his last year at Dunbar, he didn't play. His senior year, he didn't play his senior year, and they didn't have no pass, no play like you have it now, but they had, if you didn't pass your grades for the semester before, then you didn't play the whole semester. You didn't stay out for 6 weeks, you missed the whole year.
So he came in his senior year and played one game. Then they told him he couldn't play anymore. It could have ended his dream right there. You don't play, they don't give you a scholarship. You go to college, your senior year, you're not on the field, you're not playing. But to add to that, him and his friends, Ricky, Eugene, and Squirrel, walking down Berry and got hit by a car. That didn't help him any. What's really uncommon about it is after all of that, he didn't give up. He said, I'm going to California. So those guys hooked up and went with him. He's going to play football. They're going to be movie stars and singers. After a while of not having the necessities of life, Ricky and Eugene and the rest of them came on back home. Larry stayed and pursued his dream, and you know the rest of the story. But I want to also talk about his commitment, his passion, and his excellence in life that did so much for our family. Linda was instrumental in leading him to the Lord, and that's a story that was important. You know, it's amazing how God does things. He knows where you're going, and he knows what you need, and he knows how to get it to you. They didn't date in high school, but she's at UCLA, he's at USC. They meet in California. They go out, she takes him to church. Fred Price, matter of fact. And so he likes it so much, he goes back on his own, receives the Lord, joins the church. And I remember him saying to me, he said, man, I have a heart for the Lord. This is before he met the Lord. He said, I have a heart for the Lord, but I don't like church. I started thinking, you know what? I think I was in the same boat because, you didn't have a choice then. You were going to church. And I thank God for Frankie Braziel because she did a job on all 6 of us. I thank God for her when she rested. One thing she taught us was discipline and hard work. And it paid off for us all. But I'm so proud of him because he had to make some hard decisions. See, it sounds good and it looks good, but it wasn't easy. He went through a lot of things there. When he's at Compton, I mean, you dreaming to go to the NFL, and your first 5 or 6 games, they don't let you on the field. You the best guy on the team. But you're not from Compton. You're from Texas. But if you don't have passion, if you don't have commitment, and you don't want to be excellent, then you give up on your dream. And it never happened. But he stayed there. And he got his chance. And when he got his chance, he took advantage of it. All conference.
Amen.
But he hadn't met his wife yet. He was engaged to somebody else. But he met the Lord. And the Lord said, you met somebody, but that's not your wife. Linda was in Oklahoma. He ended engagement, and the rest of it is history. So he's met his Savior, he's found his wife, and he goes to the NFL, did all those wonderful things to accomplish his dream. But then he had to accept his call. And his call was to be a youth pastor. He started in Baltimore at a huge church. I went up to visit him. Wonderful, him and Linda doing a wonderful job. But the call was to youth pastor, but the place was Stop 6, Texas. The Lord told me to come home, and specifically to Stop 6. He could have went anywhere else, he could have done anything else. But the call said, Stop 6, Texas. He obeyed. And when you obey God, it's always a blessing involved in it. So I want to tell him how much I love and appreciate him for his character, for his integrity, for his hard work, for all the things that he installed into our nieces and nephews. Understanding that he didn't have his own children, but God doesn't add, he multiplies. And so he had our family. He had the boys club. He had Stop 6. He had Fort Worth. He had all of that because he was obedient to the Lord. And I want to tell him and Linda that not only did you have an effect on them, but as your big brother, you had an effect on me. He's always said that he looked up to me, and I've done my best to do my part. But you know, real relationships are two-way. If someone's giving into your life, you ought to be giving into theirs. And I want to thank God for what he has been to the Braziel family. God bless you, brother. God keep you in your retirement. You're right. Everybody doesn't get to the NFL. I dreamed about it once upon a time, but it didn't take me long to figure out law school was the route for me. Larry, I didn't realize you didn't play your senior year, so that means our team, that was it for you in high school, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, the Reverend Larry Braziel. don't know where to start. I'm so thankful. I'm so gracious, for all of you. It's so good to be here with you. God has really been good to me. I mean, God has really been good to me. The thing I want to say, first of all, I just want to say that I'm so thankful that God allowed me to, all those, the football and all that, that's good. And I'm thankful for that. But to me, things have never been more important than people. And that's something that's stirring my heart now. The people that's in this room right now, that's what's so much important to me right now. Okay, because everybody that's here has a place in my heart. And for that, I'm so grateful. Sometimes I try not to get too busy to doing things where when someone calls on me, a person calls on me, a kid calls on me, and I say, well, I ain't got time, or I can't do that. Because things will always be there. Yes, sir. And so what I try to do in my life is I try to live my life in a way where people know that they can depend on me. My time at the Boys and Girls Club with the kids, I tried to be the type of person with them that someone they could depend on each and every day. And I thank God for giving me that opportunity to be there. One of the things I used to tell them all the time is this, I say, one day I won't be here. And I say, when you leave this club and you look back on this club and all you talk about is the gym, the pool, all the fun things you do at the club. I said, if you don't talk about the staff, and I tell my staff, if the kids don't talk about us, then we failed them. And so, I want to say to you that are here, I'm so thankful for you, and I love you. And I appreciate you taking the time to be here, because my mother told me a long time ago, she said, and she told us that, she said, Larry, people don't have to do anything for you.
That's it.
People don't have to do anything for you. And that's the way I've always lived my life. Not expecting people to do things for me, but appreciating things when they do things for me. And so I appreciate you being here. I'm thankful. I want to recognize Pastor Justin. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. It was Pastor Justin to put this on for me. It wasn't my idea. It was his idea, so I want to thank him. Actually, it started with Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, so I want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. I also want to say, thank you to everybody else who made this time happen. Thankful to my wife for all that she did. I want to say thank you to each and every person who expressed your heart today. You guys know how much you mean to me. It's just so much, my heart is really full right now with just Thanksgiving. I'm really thankful. I'm so thankful to my class of 1973. I love you guys.
And as I look around and to see so many people that I love, and I know they love me, you know, and that brings a lot of joy to me. So I want to share a couple of things with you, and because so much been said, and I'm a blessed man, but I'm blessed because of you, and I want you to know that. In 1974, when I left and went to come to California, the only thing I was sure of, the only thing that I was absolutely sure of was that I could play football. I didn't know how I was going to eat. I don't know where I was going to sleep. I also want to thank Larry Duncan and Joe Briscoe. Larry, stand up, Larry. That's who I went to California with, okay? They were already on their way to California. They had been recruited out of Dunbar High School, and the year before that, I had graduated and went to a small college called Cisco Junior College, which I didn't play football there either. It was just a bad situation for me. So I didn't play my senior year, and I didn't play my next year out of high school because the situation just was bad, okay? But I want to thank Larry, you know, that because he made a difference in my life out in California. Because times was tough, and sometimes we didn't have food to eat. We slept on the floor, we didn't have food to eat, but Larry always had food. Larry's mama always sent him money for food. And Larry was my roommate, so I stuck real close to Larry. And he made sure I ate. So I'm very thankful for Larry Duncan. Couple things, I'm not gonna be long, couple things. I know some of you are wondering, and I've been asked a question, why am I retiring? Well, it's real simple. It's just time. It's just time, and it's the will of God for me to retire. Okay. I've learned a long time ago, if you're not in the will of God, you're in the way of God. And I don't want to be in the way of God. Okay? So it's time for me to move on. But there's been a lot of highlights in my life prior to this day. My brother already made mention when I accepted Christ in my life in 1978. That was a highlight. When I married my wife in 1981, that was a highlight. Okay. America, July 4th is when we got married. America won its independence. I lost mine on July 4th. I lost it. But I did it willingly, though. I gave it up willingly, though. Also, of course, it was a big highlight for me to go into the NFL and fulfill a lifelong dream. That was a big highlight for me. But as I retired, I have the same sense in the same leading I had when I retired from the National Football League. The year I retired, I actually wasn't planning on retiring. I was actually playing one more season. But I just knew in my heart that I needed to walk away from the game. See, for me, as an athlete, I was a hard worker. I worked hard. I didn't miss workouts. I didn't miss weightlifting. I did everything I was supposed to. I didn't mind working hard and sweating. But that year, going into my 8th year, something wasn't right. I didn't feel like working out. I go to workouts and I quit, and I never had to quit a workout. I just knew it was time for me to leave. And so right now, it's that same sensing in my spirit. It's just time for me to leave. And the timing is right. Because it's God. Okay? But as I look back over the 25 years I've been at the Boys and Girls Club, I have a lot of memories. A lot of memories. Most of them good. Some of them funny. Some of them crazy. I remember this. I'm going to tell you this story. I had this kid named Justin Tisby. He was struggling at school. He was struggling at the club. The school was kicking him out. He was like 4th grade. The school was kicking him out of school all the time. They couldn't do anything with him. And at the club, he was getting in trouble. So I went to the mother and I said, let Justin come live with me. I asked her to let Justin come live with me. She said, well, okay. So we agreed he came to live with me. And of course, my wife agreed to let him come live with us. He was like 9 years old. And so, but he was still coming to the club. So this one time I went to pick Justin up from the club. I normally don't drive the buses, but I was driving the buses that day. Went to SS Dillo, kids getting on the bus. Justin wanted to get on my bus, but my bus was full. I said, Justin, get in the bus in front of me. Okay? And so I pull off, and as I pull off, the kids say, Mr. Larry, that's Justin over there playing at SS Dillo. So I stop the bus. I get out the bus. Justin takes out running. I get out the bus. I take out running after. Now, Justin runs back into SS Dillo down the hall. I'm running full speed down the hall behind Justin. Catch it. I caught a witness. That's before I got it. That's when I still had it. Okay? I caught Justin. Pick Justin up, put him on my shoulder like a sack of potatoes. And the hall monitors say, Justin, who is that? Who is that? This is Mr. Larry. This is Mr. Larry. And they say, sir, you can't do that. I was breathing hard. I stopped. I put Justin down. I say, look here. You can call the police. You can do whatever you want to do. But Justin is going with me, okay? So I put Justin in the bus. We got back to the club. As soon as he hopped out of the bus, he took out running again across the street. I said, I ain't chasing him no more. So I see some of the teenage boys say, y'all go get Justin, y'all get him. I got in the bus, and I went and trailed and found him. We finally picked him up over there on Village Creek. He was all the way to Village Creek. Okay. And so I put him in the van. I set him in the front seat. And I say, Justin, I say, when we get back to that club, I say, if you take out running this time, I said, I'm going to take you into my office, pull my powder out, and I'm going to bust your butt. You understand that? Justin settled in and went to sleep. One of the things I want to do right now, at Boys and Girls Club, one of the things that people do, they have a tendency to give the director all the credit for the successes that we experience at the club. And that's just the way things are. And I tell my staff all the time, I say, regardless of what you do at this club, good or bad, I say, if it's good, I'm going to get the credit for it. If it's bad, I'm going to be blamed for it. Okay? But over the years, I've had some great staff. And there's no way, I mean, you guys give me a lot of accolades, but it's no way possible without being able to do what we did. I mean, staff that's been with me time. One of my staff been with me ever since I've been there. She was there 2 years from me. I have another staff that's been with me 18 years. It's the only job she's ever had. Graduated Dunbar High School, and she's been working for me. She was a club kid. She's been working for me ever since. I got a staff with me 13 years, 14 years. I have 4 staff of mine. That's part of my staff that are Wildcats. And I just hired another one last week. So my staff has been doing such a great job in helping us to accomplish the things that we accomplish. And right now, I want all my staff, whether you with me now, or you were part of my staff, or you're part of Boys and Girls Club, I want you to stand, please. Miss Karen, what you doing? Stand up, Miss Karen. These are the guys that helped you where I am today. One of my greatest joys of working at the Eastside Boys and Girls Club has been the fact that it is located in the Stop 6. For me, working at the Eastside Boys and Girls Club is like being home. You know, people say things about Stop 6 and a lot of it's negative. But for me, to be able to come home after being away 20 years and to work just in walking distance from my mother's house, to me, that has been a great joy for me these 25 years, just being there. And so as I drive in every day, I pass Dunbar High School, and as I come into the club, it just feels right. It feels like home. Okay? And so that's why the Eastside Boys and Girls Club would always be a special place for me, because it feels like home. But one of the greatest joys of working out of 25 years is this: watching young kids walk through the door, disrespectful, rude, don't listen, don't follow instructions, okay? Don't want to do anything you tell them to do. To watch them come in that way, and after a period of time of loving them and encouraging them, and at one time putting that powder on their butt. See, you know, and something else that my mama taught me, learned me, showed us through demonstration that that when you're dealing with young kids, you have to go through the butt to get to the mind. Okay, so what I've learned in over 25 years, this is something I learned, this is something I know about kids. First of all, kids are not our problem. We have a parent problem. And so that's one of the reasons that I've always reminded myself and my staff that when those kids walk through the door, it's important that we remember that. It's important that we know when those kids walk through the door, we don't know what type of situation they just came out of. So if we don't encourage them, if we don't hug them, if we don't help them with their homework, okay, if we don't tell them everything's going to be all right, if they don't know that we're there for them, they might not ever hear that. We forget that sometimes about it, even the bad ones. Okay, we forget. So that I know that kids are not our problem. Also, one of the things that I've learned is this about kids. Kids don't care anything about your education. They don't care about your degrees. They don't care what college you went to, what football team you played on. It's two things kids want from us as adults. It's two things, and if you can give them these two, then you can get somewhere with them. One, kids want to know that you love them. Secondly, kids want to know that they can trust you. And that's what I've endeavored to build at the Eastside Boys and Girls Club, a staff, a family environment where kids know and understand that we love them and they can trust us to do right by them.
Amen.
And that's what I've endeavored to do all these years. Now, some of you are probably wondering, where do we go from here as far as the Eastside Boys and Girls Club? Where do we go from here? Because someone has to step in. Someone has to, just like when I came in '93, I had to step in for somebody. So someone has to step in. That person that's stepping in my place is already in place. That person's already in place. It's an individual that I believe personally would take the Eastside Boys and Girls Club to greater heights. I believe that this person would make the club a fun place. I believe that this person will allow the club and use the club to make even a greater impact in the community. I believe that this person has a lot of creative ability. This person loves God, loves people, and this person loves having fun, and that's what the club needs, okay? That person is present with us tonight, and I want to introduce you to her. Her name is Raquel Archer. She'll be taking my place. Would you stand, Miss Rick? Now, y'all, don't let her look school you. Don't let her look school you. Okay. Miss Rick, she's, matter of fact, I hired her about 3 years ago as my team director. And then she went on and became a branch director at our Morningside Boys and Girls Club. Okay? And she was someone that myself and my supervisor, Matt Sinclair, we talked about it. She's the best person for the job. When she walked in my office, she sit down with you. When she walked in my office 3 years ago, my staff said, Mr. Larry, I know you're not going to hire her. I say, I have a peace in my spirit about her. It's something about her. I need to hire her. Okay? And it turned out that I was right. Okay? And so what I want you guys to do is to please give her your support. Okay? Please make sure. She's a very outgoing person. She loves Dunbar High School, right, Miss Rick? Okay. Hey, kids love her, and the good thing about it is that all my staff already know her, so it's an easy transition. Now, one thing I do want to let you guys know, because of the situation at the Boys and Girls Club, my retirement is officially March the 30th, but I'm going to continue to help the club up until May 18th to transition Miss Rick and Morningside and the Eastside Club because of staff situation. So I'll be coming in about 20 hours a week, helping her to transition and making sure that she get off to a good start. Okay, so lastly, before I sit down, I want to say again, thank you very much. You guys mean so much to me. It's so good to see everybody here. You didn't have to be here today. Mr. Lewis, thank you very much. Big brother, thank you very much. My brother, I want to say this about my brother. My brother has always been my biggest aspiration, my biggest motivation when I was coming up. He didn't even know it, you know, but I've always looked up to him. You know, he talked about me and the things I did, but the reason why I did the things I did because I watched him do it. And he would come home from college, you know, for Christmas break and things like that, and we'll be still be in school. And during that time, when we was growing up, we didn't have a lot of clothes. I mean, a lot of, you know. One time when I was in elementary school, I wore a complete Boy Scout uniform to school, and I wasn't even in Boy Scouts. My mama got some Goodwill, tell you, boy, put the thing on. But what I want to say was my brother used to come home. Once he left home and went to college, of course, his dress code increased. It got better once he went to college. And so when he used to come home from college, he'd bring his bags and just throw them down, you know. And I'd get up, I'd go in there and go through his bags, you know. I put on some of his clothes. I mean, I'm looking good now. I'm looking good now. I put on, I said, whoo, you know. And if you look, and if you look in our high school annual, in the favorite pictures that talk about me being nonchalant, everything I got on belonged to my brother. Except one thing, that hat belonged to my daddy. He didn't know I had that though. My dad didn't know I had that hat. Because he would have been hell to pay if my dad knew I had that hat. So, but I want to say to my brother that he's been a big inspiration to me, and I will always cherish that. My wife, Linda, of 36 years, you know, thank you. She's always been there for me, and she's always been a big blessing to me. You know, and she's one of the sweetest persons that you ever meet. But sometimes that woman can make me so mad. So but anyway, before I be seated, let me say this. Before I be seated, you know, everything that God has done for me, everything that God has allowed me to accomplish, all the people that God has allowed me to meet, to talk to work with, to be a part of their lives, all the kids that have walked through the doors of the East Side Boys and Girls Club, the most precious and gracious thing that I'm thankful to God for is this, is that he allowed me to come back home. Thank you very much.
For our community, for our children. There are so many people in Fort Worth that ought to be grateful for what you did for our children. It's because of you that we can walk into convenience stores and not worry about getting shot. We don't have to worry about somebody coming in with bombs. I'm serious. For just loving on somebody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's nothing else. We're standing to be dismissed.
I
need you to survive. May the Lord bless thee, and may the Lord keep thee. May the Lord make his face to shine upon thee. Now unto him that is able to present you faultless before the throne of his grace with exceeding joy, to the only wise God, be dominion and power both now and forever. In the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, let the church sing. Amen.